Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I want to pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I want to welcome those of you that are in attendance at the Sri Narayan Dham to our very first Thursday satsang. I want to welcome those that are watching this discourse on live feed, locally, nationally, and internationally. From today, we will continuously discuss the Bhagavad Gita unless there is a special occasion. So every discourse starting from today will be on the Bhagavad Gita. I want to start with timeline and references so that there is a coherent understanding in a very simple and synchronized manner the imports of the Bhagavad Gita. Before I define the Bhagavad Gita, I want to do a quick background about myself. I am Acharya Shyam Ramanuj, and I hail from the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. And it is customary and Vedic law that in my discoursing on the Bhagavad Gita, I must be within the confines of the parameters set by our Adi Guru, Lord Sri Ramanuj. So this discourse and all subsequent discourses will be within the parameters of the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. That is one. Number two, a bona fide spiritual master must conclude the Vedas with his own realizations. So along this journey, which I believe might take a few years, I will be dispensing knowledge firstly from scriptural injunctions, and then within the confines of the scriptural injunctions, my own realizations. I will tie the Bhagavad Gita and our own experiences in reference to the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita as and when the verses require my own experiences as a spiritual master, would my own devotees, my own circumstances, my own family, my own birth, my own life. So I'm going to give the Bhagavad Gita life in the timeline of my lifetime and to date. That is the date today? 16th of May 2019. I first touched a copy of the Bhagavad Gita on the 3rd of March 2030. I first touched and opened a copy of the Bhagavad Gita presented to me by my school friend, colleague, who is no longer with us today. I received this from his niece-in-law. And she wrote, "Dear Shami, may you enjoy all the wisdom from our blessed or blessed Gita. God bless." A Maharaj, 3rd March 2030. Show this to the camera without moving the camera. Take it close. Thank you. So this Bhagavad Gita was written by Swami Sivananda and presented to me on the 3rd of March 2013. Together with this Bhagavad Gita, I was also presented a copy of Swami Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. So she gave me 2 Bhagavad Gitas as a present on the same day, 3rd March 2013. And I was very excited because I think I was 45 years old, and at the age of 45 I received, older. I'm 57 now. How old was I? 50. 51. I was 51 years old when I received my first Bhagavad Gita. And I received 2 Bhagavad Gitas. One from Swami Sivananda of the Divine Life Society, and one written by Swami Prabhupada of ISKCON. And I remember on my way back, me being an avid reader, I wanted to read both the Bhagavad Gitas in the car. Okay, I got this Bhagavad Gitas in Bellito. And I wanted to see what these two Swamis were writing about. I wanted to know this great book, the Bhagavad Gita, was only a name to me. Was only a name to me. And I wanted to know what it contained. Because in previous satsangs I explained I was an avid reader. On the 19th of July 2013, I went to a pilgrimage to Sri Siddhartha Ashram, founded by my Guru Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I just went for Guru Purnima pilgrimage. On the next day, I took initiation in the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya from my Guruji's eldest son, Swami Purshottama Acharya Maharaj. I was met by Guruji's devotee who informed me that I must come back to South Africa and start satsang. And whilst I was in India, I promised him I will do so, but when I got back to South Africa, I tried to break that promise to him. This promise I made at my Guru's Samadhi place, where his ashes is lying at a place called Bagichi. And we took many oaths that we will carry my Guruji's tradition and promote it in South Africa. But after coming back from satsang, from the ashram, I was only to stay there for 6 days. I stayed there for 21 days. 21 days in divine bliss. And when I got back to South Africa, I lost that divinity, and I was trying to wiggle my way out of this promise. However, it was not to be, and on the 10th of October 2013, I opened my first satsang in a primary school classroom. And today, 6 years later, I'm sitting in the Sri Narayan Dham, an ashram awarded to me by the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya, which was opened 2 weeks ago under full spiritual protocol of the Sri Ramanuj Vishishtadvaita tradition. It is with great humility that I sit here today as a humble servant of my spiritual master, Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. A humble servant of my Adi Guru, Lord Sri Ramanuj. I claim no originality in presenting the imports of the Bhagavad Gita. I pay my obeisances and respects to my Siksha Guru and Adi Guru and ask them for guidance, transcendental guidance through this journey that I am embarking on as from today. And I ask to be blessed so that I can present all the age-old secrets of the Vedas to the world at large, to those that are thirsty, to those that are inquisitive, and to those that are against Vedic tradition. I once again thank my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj, for placing me on this Vyasasana tonight to expound the greatest gift that man has on earth, the Bhagavad Gita. There is no greater gift on this earth. There is nothing greater on this earth than the Bhagavad Gita. And with all humility, my greatest respects to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj, for allowing me this privilege in expounding the Bhagavad Gita at this level. So I said, I'm going to start with timeline. I'm going to start with timeline, and today's discourse will be a background setting up the conversation between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna. A background setting up the most important conversation that took place in this universe. There is absolutely no other conversation that has greater import either in your material or your spiritual life than this conversation that took place on the battlegrounds of Kurukshetra. So we need to ask a few questions. Who spoke the Bhagavad Gita? Who authored the Bhagavad Gita? And to whom and for whom the Bhagavad Gita was spoken? First question, who spoke the Bhagavad Gita? Question number one, who spoke the Bhagavad Gita? Then we said we want to start with a timeline. Timeline means we must go back and traverse forward. So going back will mean starting from this creation, starting from this cycle of creation. We are already in our 28th Kali Yuga. We are in our 28th Kali Yuga, which means we are halfway through this cycle of creation, which means 155 trillion years have elapsed in this cycle of creation. So let us start at creation itself, because once we know who the Creator is, then we will establish who the speaker is of the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads. The Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads. The Upanishads appear in the fourth segment of each of the four Vedas. The Upanishads appear in the fourth segment of each of the four Vedas. The four Vedas are Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and the Atharva Veda. There are four Vedas. These four Vedas are subdivided into four segments. The first segment is called the Samhitas. The second segment is called the Brahmanas. The third segment is called the Aryanakas, and the fourth segment is called the Upanishads. So the Samhitas and the Brahmanas dictate on how to perform rituals to appease certain manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Devis and Devas. Aryanaka means going away. Generally, in the Vedic period, in India, at the age of 51, you left your business and your family and you went into the forest. So Aryanaka means going to the forest, and the Aryanakas start and changes the direction of the Vedas from ritual to spiritual. And the foundation of spirituality starts in the Aryanakas, which means to leave and go. Leave what? Materialistic way of life and go towards spiritualistic way of life. Upanishads mean come, sit, near. It also means to obliterate. Whichever of these two meanings, you take, the result is the same. You come and sit near a guru and you will obliterate your ignorance. Please see my battery time. You will obliterate your ignorance. So we're saying that the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads, and I will further say that the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. So I'm going to be explaining the Bhagavad Gita using the Upanishads, using the Manu Smritis, using the Puranas, using the Itihasas, which is the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So when I'm going to take you on this journey of the Bhagavad Gita, I'll reference it with all of the Vedic scriptures. Reference and cross-reference. Reference and cross-reference, and this is why I said it may take a few years. So let's see, would Vedic references what happened as per timeline in the very beginning. Let us see who the Creator is and how creation came into being. So in the Manu Smriti, Manu is the first human being. Manu is the first human being. And in the Manu Smriti, Manu says, in the beginning, he created the names of all actions and the different configurations, even according to the words of the Veda. I'm going to read it again. Manu Smriti 1.21. Manu Smriti 1.21. And I quote, in the beginning, he means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, created the names of all actions and the different configurations, even according to the words of the Veda. And configuration means form. Then Bhagavan Parashara says in the Vishnu Puran 1, 5:63. Vishnu Purana 1, 5:63. And he states, the Creator fashioned the sun and the moon as before. It means that he fashioned entities like the sun is before and determined their names as before. As before. So I just want to elaborate here. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in this cycle of creation, of which 155 trillion years have elapsed, when he created this cycle of creation, he created as per Vedic injunctions. So he created within the confines of the Vedas. The universes were created as per the Vedas by the Creator, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Which means that at the very outset of creation, every human and every Devi and Devta must follow Vedic injunctions. Because the Creator can create, if He wants, an entire different scenario which is out of these injunctions. Can He not? Can He not? Why does He create within the Vedic injunctions as creation was before? So that humans and the Devis and Devtas must take a lead from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself and live within the parameters of the Vedas and perform all actions within the parameters of the Vedas. So these Vedic injunctions that I read from the Vishnu Purana and the Manu Smriti confirms that the Supreme Personality of Godhead created as before, as per Vedic injunctions. So the Bhagavad Gita is a conversation that takes place in the Mahabharata itself. The Bhagavad Gita is a conversation that takes place in the Mahabharata itself. Okay? So we want to know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. What is his name? What is the Creator's name? So I'm linking the Vishnu Purana, the Manu Smriti. Now I am linking the Mahabharata. Because if this conversation took place within the epic, the Itihasa, the history of Mahabharata, then in which scripture must the identity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead first come from? The Mahabharata. Don't you think? This epic happened in the Mahabharata. Then the author of the Mahabharata must identify in the Mahabharata itself who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. Okay? So let's go to the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, Brahma addressed these words to Rudra. In the Mahabharata, Brahma addressed these words to Rudra. Who is Rudra? Lord Shiva. Rudra is Lord Shiva. And I quote, your inner self, my inner self, and the inner self of all embodied beings is the Supreme Lord Narayan. Again, in the Mahabharata, Brahma addressed these words to Rudra. And I quote, your inner self, my inner self, and the inner self of all embodied beings is the Supreme Lord Narayan. And this is found in Moksha 179:4. The Supreme Lord Narayana exists as the inner ruler or inner self of Rudra, Brahma, and all other embodied beings. And in the same work of the Mahabharata, these further passages are found. Narayana is the Atman of the blessed Bhava, possessing unlimited energy. He withstood, therefore, the touch of the bowstring. And this is found in Karna 35:50. Again, these two are the best of the celestials. They are born of favor and anger. Brahma is born of favor, he creates, and Rudra is born of anger, he destroys. It means that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, who dwells in them as the inner souls, show them the way, and thus they, Brahma and Rudra, become the creator and the destroyer, respectively. So this is cast in stone. These verses that I read cast in stone that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared in the Mahabharata, confirmed by his firstborn. Who confirms the father? The firstborn. We'll see the father first. So in all of creation, who would have had the first association with the Supreme Creator? Lord Brahma. And if Lord Brahma states that the Supreme Creator is Lord Sriman Narayan in the Mahabharata itself, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead discussed throughout the Bhagavad Gita will be who? Any reference made in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Sri Krishna would infer that Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in his human form he appears as Lord Sri Krishna. And when I say human form, I do not mean human body, because the Lord never takes on a human body. He takes a human form in his transcendental body, which is Suda Sattva. So it is Lord Narayan in human form, incarnated in human form, known as Lord Sri Krishna. Where am I getting this information from? From the epic, the Mahabharata itself, in which the Bhagavad Gita is embedded. The Bhagavad Gita is embedded in the Mahabharata, and I am getting this information from the Mahabharata, and I am now disclosing it to you, so as to remove all confusion as to the absolute identity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Passing on to the Itihasas and Puranas, in the sections relating to the creation and destruction of the universe, an identical conclusion is reached on the question of the ultimate Godhead. These questions are raised in the Mahabharata itself. And these are the questions from the Mahabharata. Whence is the creation of this world of moving and non-moving entities? Whither does it go at dissolution? Instruct me in this matter, O Sire. Moksha 181:1. They are answered by the grandfather Bhisma. They are answered by the grandfather Bhisma. I'm using this Vedic injunctions as a reference to explain who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. And I quote Bhimsa says, Narayana, whose form the universe is the infinite self, the eternal one. Moksha 181:12. And the sages, the mains, the gods, the great elements, the minerals, and in short, this whole world, universe, consisting of moving and non-moving entities, originates from Narayan. So in the Mahabharata itself, Bhisma, one of the characters, I'll explain as we go along in the next session. So the Vishnu Purana has been accepted by all saints and sages. Vishnu Purana has been accepted by all the saints and sages. The Puranas are 18 in number. The Puranas are 18 in number. There are 6 Puranas that Lord Brahma spoke in Satagun. There are 6 Puranas Lord Brahma spoke in Rajagun, and there are 6 Puranas Lord Brahma spoke in Tamogun. So in different epochs, in different times of creation, Lord Brahma is the highest living entity in the universe. But he has a material body, and all material bodies are affected by the 3 gunas. In some epochs, his mind is impelled by Satagun, and when he is impelled by Satagun, his 6 Puranas are in Satagun, and they will discuss the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Rajogun and in Tamogun, he will deviate from the absolute truth. So in Rajogun, he is mixed between Tamogun and Rajogun. He says that the Devi, in the Devi Purana, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somebody is speaking in a mixed consciousness of Rajasic and Tamasic, then can that be taken as absolute? So we reject that the Devi is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when he is in Tamogun, he says that Lord Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can you accept when somebody is speaking in Tamogun? What is the mode in Tamogun? Total ignorance. So if somebody is writing 6 Puranas in Tamogun, we will reject the Puranas. But in the 6 Puranas in Tamogun, he could be having Satagun verses in there. We will accept the Satagun verses from there. Similarly, when he is writing, when he is impelled in Rajogun, those verses that are in Satagun, that can be cross-referenced with the rest of the Vedas, we'll accept those verses. You understand? So the Vishnu Purana is written in Satagun, and it is accepted in by all the saints and sages. So all the saints and sages, we will focus on the first three saints and sages of the three metaphysical philosophies of Advaita, which is monism, Vishishtadvaita, which is qualified dualism, and Dvaita, which is dualism. Okay? Which means, in monism, it means that you and God are one. You and God, one. Which we reject. The Guru, the founding Guru of Advaita, Sri Acharya, in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he gave the first commentary on the Bhagavad Gita in the year 800 AD. The very first commentary on the Bhagavad Gita was given by Adi Acharya, and he pays his obeisances to whom? Lord Sriman Narayan. He pays his obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan, and I'll read these exact one or two quotations from his Bhagavad Gita next week in the background part 2, and confirm and cross-reference that the very first Adi Guru of the monist or monism philosophy confirms that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Sri Ramanuj, 200 years later, showed through every Vedic injunction that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And 100 years later, 200 years later, Madhva Acharya of the Brahma Sampradaya confirmed that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the first three Adi Gurus all confirm that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Creator. He is the Creator. And He has created this material universe today in which we are residing. Okay? So we wanted to know who the Creator was. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture in the world of any religion wherein the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself speaks. He is not speaking through a prophet. He is not speaking through a saint. He Himself is speaking, and the Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture in the world spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavad Gita does not mention any religion. It's not for any specific religion, caste or creed. It is for all of humanity. The Bhagavad Gita itself does not punish you if you do not follow it. It is left entirely upon you, whether you follow it or not. Are there any questions up to this point? Suggestion? Anna? Vasudeva? Strini? Are there any questions? What is the time? Half past 8. Okay, I'm just going to round up. So we've established the Creator. We established the Creator. In part 2 of the background next week, we will establish the author. We will establish the author and the characters in the Bhagavad Gita. And we will cross-reference where necessary to the Puranas, the Itihasas and the Upanishads. So this will be for those of you that want to know the truth. I am dismantling the truth. I am dismantling the absolute truth so that it becomes a palatable dish for your soul, so that your soul can enjoy and relish the absolute truth in its perfection. Jai Sri Ramanuj.